For our perspective on this, more on the legal implications, we want to bring in former New Jersey Superior Court judge and longtime friend of Mr. Trump, Judge Andrew Napolitano. I know we've been speaking quite a bit lately. It's understandable considering this case.
Right.
Now, we know the details of this indictment are still under wraps, but we might know exactly what's inside those charges in a few hours. The former president definitely outspoken so far, taking to Truth Social. I want to kind of just go back to what he said. He called for Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg to indict himself, citing alleged leaks ahead of today's arraignment about the specific charges he faces. What leaks is he talking about? And, I've had conversations about this earlier last week. Is he saying that someone is actually inside the court proceedings, somebody maybe potentially connected to this jury who is dishing out information that the media shouldn't have yet? Because so far he's been the one that's given out quite a bit of information about what's happening in this case.
I mean, the only good morning, Adrienne. It's a pleasure to be with you as always. The only thing that was actually leaked was the existence of the indictment itself. You may recall last Thursday we were told the grand jury was going home for Easter, Passover, and Ramadan. And then it turned out that they had, in fact, voted before they went home. So someone released the existence of an indictment. But I don't know what other leaks he might be talking about because no one, as far as I know, has released the contents of the indictment. We still don't know exactly what he'll be charged with. Our friends at CNN have reported that the indictment lists over 30 criminal charges. That would tell me that it probably includes an area other than the funds that were paid to Stormy Daniels, or they have broken down each one of those payments, and there were several checks and wire transfers for each payment, 13 payments. They've broken each one of those down into a separate account. But other than that, I'm not sure what he's talking about with respect to leaks. In terms of the prosecutor indicting himself, that's just Donald Trump hyperbole.
Well, and he also is likely going to be under some type of gag order or will be limited to the kinds of things he can talk about. If he were to oppose that gag order or speak out of turn, what would be the ramifications?
Well, Adrienne, judges are loath to impose gag orders. First of all, there is the First Amendment, which applies to all government, not just Congress. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Today means the government shall not interfere with the freedom of speech. Secondly, Donald Trump is innocent until proven guilty, and so there shouldn't be any restraints on his ability to speak. However, what judges fear and what prosecutors fear is when an articulate defendant or a defendant with a big megaphone, as in this case, will say things that will influence the jury pool. Now, the jury pool is the 2.5 million people that live in Manhattan Island, just Manhattan, not the entire city, just Manhattan. If it appears as though he is attempting to pollute that jury pool, then the judge will order him not to discuss the case publicly. A difficult order to enforce and one that would be imposed reluctantly. But when he is arraigned, or actually when he's booked this afternoon, fingerprinted, mugshot, his height will be measured.
Well, they won't do a mugshot according to all the media reports.
Well, they won't publicize the mugshot. Okay. But they are going to read him as Miranda warnings. And they're basically going to say, they're going to remind him, whatever you say can and will be used against you. That is something his own lawyers are going to keep whispering in his ear.
Absolutely.
Don't give the prosecutor more ammunition, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.